again? Okay, and verse 14 is what it took us into the fourth day, right? Okay, I'm just making sure. Yep, okay. So we going to read this first. All right, go ahead. When you get there, Psalms 136, pick it up at verse 1.
Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good, for his mercy endureth forever.
And he is good, and his mercy does endure forever. And we don't need to forget that. Go ahead.
Oh, give thanks unto the God of gods, for his mercy endureth forever.
That's right. Go ahead.
Give thanks to the Lord of lords, for his mercy endureth forever. To him who alone doeth great wonders, for his mercy endureth forever. To him that by wisdom made the heavens, for his mercy endureth forever.
All right, so now, and you can put in your notes Proverbs chapter 8, because Proverbs chapter 8 is showing you wisdom. It's personifying wisdom as a woman, actually. And but he's showing you that the Lord, but this is the wisdom of God you read in Proverbs 8. He's going to say, I possessed you from the beginning, so on and so on. Now, we saw in the beginning, we saw light. We saw the pathway to God. We know that wisdom is the principal way to obtain this salvation. Fools ain't getting into the kingdom. Just keep that in mind. So he said here, he said, to verse 5, to him that by wisdom made the heavens and the earth. Go ahead, keep reading.
To him that stretched out the earth above the waters, for his mercy endureth forever.
Keep going.
To him that made great lights, for his mercy endureth forever. The sun to rule by day, for his mercy endureth forever.
And what else?
The moon and stars to rule by night, for his mercy endureth forever.
All right, now let's get into that part of the creation. Let's go back to Genesis. Genesis chapter 1. So now, because we hadn't got a sun and a moon to rule by day and by night. See, and God ain't walking in darkness. So he never really, when he was giving you days and nights, he was just telling you this how it's going to be. You know, this is what it is. The evening, in the morning. It wasn't like it got dark on God. So I want you to understand, we already read, he said he clothed himself in light. It don't get dark on God. Okay? But this is still about creating the creation for man. The plan for man. We the one that needed to be created. And we the one that needed somebody to make grass for us so we can eat. God don't need no grass. Genesis chapter 1, and we'll start them at 13.
And the evening and the morning were the third day. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to divide the light from the night. And let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years.
Nah, we got time. He said, let there be light in the firmament. Now, we saw him pull the firmament out of the waters in day 2. That's what we saw. But now, what he's doing in the firmament is he's creating the moon for the lesser light and the sun for the greater light. And this is what he did on day 4. So we still got our earth here. We still got the fact that he, pulled the waters and the dry land and he made it how we see it today. But now what we got is a set of 24 hours for this earth. Now, when I say a set of 24 hours for this earth, God don't function in 24 hours clocks like man does. So he never needed a sun and a moon to determine that. That was made for us. Let's keep reading this so we can see sun and moon and so on and so forth. Go ahead, pick it back up at 15.
And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heavens, to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven, to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day, and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the 4th day.
All right, now here goes some more stuff we learned here. It said about this light and about this sun and this moon. It said in verse 14, he said, God said, let there be light in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night. And let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. So we use the sun and the moon to determine our days, our years, our seasons, and the signs are like the signs of the time. So I'm going to give you an example of what I mean by that. In science, they explain to us that in the summertime, the northern part of the earth faces the sun more. Okay? Therefore, we get hotter climate, But more importantly, we get the longer days in the summertime as opposed to the shorter days that what we would call the southern hemisphere would get at that same time period. So this is how the sun is working on our seasons. Then we got the sun, they say in science, that the earth goes around the sun in a cycle of 365 days. And so, or 360 or 365 and some change. But the Lord, he make the year 360. So, you know, science, the Lord say 360. But we got to deal with man calendar. You know, but one thing we don't see here is weeks. He did not say you use the sun and the moon to determine weeks. So right now we determine a week based off this 7-day creation. This is what determines a week. This fact that the Lord created the heavens and the earth in 6 days, and man, and on the 7th day he rested. That is how we determine our weekly cycle. Again, please, brother, read verse 16 again. I'm sorry. Read verse 14 one more time, please.
And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years.
Okay, so it didn't say nothing about weeks. The word weeks is in the Bible. Matter of fact, we read one time where you use the word weeks in the same chapter. In the same book. Book of Genesis, around maybe 37. I don't know. I could be off. But it's dealing with Jacob, and he had to fulfill his what was called weeks in order to get his wife. Because he had to work for his wife dad, the wife daddy. And he had to, and he said, I need to fulfill her weeks. And guess how long a time period that was? That was 7 years. You understand? So what I'm trying to get you to see is that weeks has nothing to do with this sun, this moon, or our cycle. So therefore, when we start trying to calculate the Sabbath, I was getting somewhere with that. We don't use the moon to determine the beginning of our week. We can use the moon to determine the beginning of our month. We read that in the Bible. But the week, it stays on a constant 7-day cycle. We don't read, what we don't see here is sun and moon is used for weeks. It says seasons, it says signs, it said days and years. It did not say weeks. Now let's go on over to 2 Peter chapter 3, because there's some more we got to establish right here. Brother Jediah just made the statement that God didn't have 24 hours within his day. 24 hours didn't exist till you get to the 4th day, in which 24 hours still not functioning with God. God is on another plane. He lives in eternity. 24 hours don't dwell in eternity. 24 hours in eternity ain't a day. It is a dot. It is a period. It hardly exists to God. One of our days shoot by like this, like nothing. Because we talking about eternity. That's why you got to understand your life is short right now. So all this vanity and this testing ground that we deal with, do recognize that when the Lord looking at you, he's like, well, if you can't be faithful over little, how am I going to make you faithful over much? Because eternity is much compared to 70 years, 60 years. Come on now, eternity, like forever and ever. It's a song, they like forever, ever. I'm like, well, they took the 4 off forever. That's a long time. And that's what we talking. We talking like forever, like we can't comprehend forever. We so can't comprehend forever that we feel sorry for and bad when we say, oh, somebody go burn in hell, and man has made it, well, it's not going to be forever. Yeah, it is. That's what he said. He said forever. I don't really want to figure out how long forever is with God. Because I know how long forever is with me. That means it just keep on going. Then he used words like eternity. You know what I'm saying? Like, where else do you use eternity? You know what I'm saying? But God used it in this Bible. So I'm just like, this is not something I want to play with. So I'll take my 60, 70 years, maybe 90 if I'm blessed. But 70 is what we, 10 years is what the Lord said we got, And some of us, unfortunately, don't make it that far. But the Lord don't function out 24 hours. Let's see how long a day is for the Lord. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 3. And when you get there, go ahead and read, bro.
Knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lust, and saying, where is the promise of his coming?
Yeah, just like now, people don't believe for real. They do not believe the Lord coming back. You know, man done got so slick, we'll leave the earth now. We like, oh, we gonna get out of here. We ain't waiting on God. Nobody believes that Jesus Christ is coming back. Just like nobody believed Noah when Noah was building that ark out there. Nobody buying, feeding into that. Oh, the Lord finna flood the earth? Yeah, right. It ain't even rained yet. How you finna flood anything? And you building it way up here on the mountain. You couldn't even build it down by the water. Yeah, they was looking at Noah like he was crazy till it started raining. And when it started raining, you know, they probably was looking for Noah. They ain't lived long. Lord killed everybody, short of 8 souls. 2 Peter chapter 3, and where were we? Verse, did we finish 7? All right, go ahead, 7, bro.
But the heavens and the earth, which are now, by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men.
Oh, I'm so sorry. We skipped a lot. Let's go. We gonna go back up. I'm sorry. See, the point is down here further, but it's a reason we reading all this other stuff. So let's go back to knowing this first that shall come last day, scholars saying where's the promise? Okay, middle of 4. Go ahead.
The fathers fell asleep. All things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation.
Right. So he's saying, look, because he's saying y'all think the Lord ain't really coming back. But, you know, all our fathers and forefathers, you know, they fell asleep. Like everything is still in play from the creation. See, the whole story was told in the creation. So everything is still in play on how it's supposed to come down. But it's some things you didn't understand when you read that. Go ahead.
For this they wittily are ignorant of, that by the word of God the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water.
So he's just breaking down what we done already got into. That the earth came out of the waters. You know, like this is Peter breaking down about, he kind of getting into the creation just a tad bit, but to explain something else, that the Lord coming back. And why does it seem like it's taking so long? Go ahead.
Whereby the world that...
No, verse 5.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, you probably right.
And the earth standing out of the water and in the water. Whereby the world that then was, being overflowed with water, perished. But the heavens and the earth, which are now, by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men.
So in this chapter, he's saying, whereby the world then was, it perished, because it got, the Lord came, what we're reading in the creation, and all these people that we read in Genesis, from Genesis chapter 1 to, or really from Genesis 2 till we get to Genesis 9, they all died short of 8 people. We kind of talked about that. So the world that was created then, it got destroyed once. And he's saying, well, y'all think I'm not coming. I'm going to destroy the world, but I'm not going to destroy it like that next time. We're going to keep it intact this time, and next time I'm going to come and I'm going to destroy it for real. It say when the Lord say he come back, he say he going to flatten Jerusalem like a plane. That didn't happen when we saw the flood. You know, so he going to do it in a different capacity. But let's keep going. We're going to get more to our point. Go ahead.
But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing.
So he's saying don't be ignorant of this one. This is why it seems like I'm taking forever to come. Go ahead.
That one day is with the Lord 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day.
All right, so since this guy lives in eternity, the book say 1,000 years to us is one day to him. So when we start looking at the creation, when he start declaring days all the way back there in Genesis, we talking about 1,000-year spans. When he started this, now from in the beginning, so we don't have a time to put, you know, in the beginning is the beginning. But when he started saying, well, this is going to be the evening and the morning was a day, and then the evening and the morning was the second day, these are 1,000-year periods that we cover. So much that by the time the fourth day comes, we can say that that was the 4,000 years. That earth, you know, by the time he was done, 4,000 years had the creation of man been taking place. All right, and that means something as well. That takes us back to our Sabbath class that we dealt with a couple weeks ago at the end of that class. We'll get there. Let's go back into Genesis. Back into Genesis chapter 1, verse 20 through 26. Genesis chapter 1, verse 20 through 26. And hopefully we grasping this, because it's really not that difficult. Man has made the creation more difficult than what it is because they can't figure it out. You know, the little small things that we can figure out, it just makes sense to us now. Oh, like, for example, how long was this? Well, once you read that 1,000 years to man is a day to God, this makes more sense now. You know, it's not like he just got up one morning on a Tuesday and made the firmaments, and then on Wednesday made the sun and the moon. No, it didn't work like that. You know, we can help the scientists out. Because if they can understand this part, then maybe they can figure out some of how this earth was made a little better. You know? So at any rate, let's get into Genesis chapter 1 and verse 20. When you get there, go do 19 first.
And the evening and the morning were the fourth day.
Uh-huh.
And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that has life, and fire that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven.
So now we see on the fourth day, he started making the birds and the sea creatures. See, everything on this earth came from this earth. That's why the rotation and the spin can stay perfect. I mean, every building that's super big, it's big. It was already here. It might have been dirt. You know, it might have been some trees, whatever. Everything. It's not like we added. Man can't add to this earth. We can't take from this earth. We can't add from this earth. It's just all this earth is how God made it. But keep reading though.
And God created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And God saw that it was good.
Yes, scientists have caught a little bit of that though, because they be trying to relate the birds and to the sea animals. You know, they be trying to, especially when they start dealing with dinosaurs and stuff. They really try to relate it to. Well, that's because they was created at the same time on the same day. You know, it's some similarities to them. But one he created for the air, the other he created for the water. Go ahead, keep reading.
And God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let fire multiply in the earth. And the evening and the morning were the fifth day.
Okay, so we see on this fifth day, we saw that he made the sea creatures and the water creatures. All right, let's keep going.
And God said, let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping things, and beasts of the earth after his kind. And it was so.
So now you start dealing with the mammals and the reptiles and the animals that live on the earth. The ones that's a little closer to us. Because, you know, jellyfish ain't got nothing. They don't even think like that. You know, at least when he start talking about a bear, you know, they have cubs. You know, dogs have, you know, they a little more on our level. But, you know, we ain't walking around here dropping eggs like the birds.
Nah.
You know, so it's just, you know, you know, when you start dealing with the creation, look at how he doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, have anybody ever seen a fish mate? You know what I mean? Like, we know what the dogs and the pigs look like when they get out there. They look more like us. So we got two different days that we dealing with here. You know, we dealing with, it's the truth. So we dealing with the fourth day, he created the sea creatures. I mean, the fifth day, he created the sea creatures and the air creatures. And on this sixth day, he created the beast of the field. And he created somebody else on this day. Go ahead, keep reading.
And God made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness.
Now on this day, he is making man in his image. That means now we learned that when he made man, he said he made us in his image. That means God got two hands. He ain't no puff of smoke. He got two eyes. He got nose, mouth, ears, feet. That's right, feet. You understand? God got everything we got and make it so bad. Yes, he got penis. And make it so bad, when he get to the kingdom, he say he gonna drink with us. So that means that apparently he got some esophagus and throat. We made in his image. It's just that we, flesh and blood, because he gave us a type of body to develop into his type of body or learn how to get that type. That's the last part of the creation. See, once man can defeat his last enemy, which is death, he'll be the second born into this new body. Because Jesus is the firstborn. You understand? Even though Jesus is doing all this, Jesus came and then he humbled himself so that he could save us and literally came through a woman. Actually, and if you cut Jesus, he bleed, obviously, because at 33, and they put thorns on his head, and they put blood came out, all that good stuff. They killed my man, but he resurrected. This is the last part of the creation. It's us. Just like the 6th day was us, but then he had the 7th day, he rested, and then on the 8th day, he was born again. But that's a whole nother story. It really is. That's another class. But this is a build up to that class. So at any rate, we stopped at verse 26. Let's go over to Psalms chapter 8. We actually wrapping this up. Psalms chapter 8. Not long. Not a long class, not a hard class. Science done made this class hard. You know, science has got us all discombobulated. You know? But it's okay though. See, the Lord say those who keep his commandment, they given a good understanding. That's period.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? That, you know, you go read in the book of Daniel, you see that them Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, for lack of better names, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, which are their names. We saw that these people had a great understanding in all sciences. You know, they got all their little wise men coming there, astrologers getting amazed by the stars coming down here to deal with the king. And these Hebrew boys, they dealt with the Lord. So when it was time for them to start bringing knowledge to the king, they was far more on point than these men of worldly wisdom. Because you deal with God, God gonna show you stuff like this. Why, we're gonna read something in the book of Job. And this book been here since at least the 1000 AD, right? But they were trying to tell us the earth was flat. All they had to do was read the Bible, they would have found out the earth wasn't flat. You know, it took them a long time to realize the earth wasn't flat. But we're going to get to that part in a minute. Let's read this first. Psalms chapter 8, let's pick it up at verse 3. Psalms 8 and 3. When you get there, go ahead.
When I consider the heavens, the work of thy fingers, the moon and the stars which thou hast ordained.
So we done read all that. That's the work of God's fingers. When you consider it, what do you say? Go ahead.
What is man that thou art mindful of
I
him?
know, man. Like, what is, like, for real? Like, all this creation, and he put us on that last. Like, it's a true stand, the last should be first. But he created us the last. And he said, what is man that you mindful of this dude? You know what I'm saying? Keep reading.
And the Son of Man that thou visited him.
Go ahead.
For thou hast made him a little lower than the angels.
So when he created us a little lower than the angels, in that the angels already got a body that lives forever. We don't. So he created us a lower level than them. Go ahead.
And has crowned him with glory and honor.
But at some point, we get crowned with glory and honor because we get what he got. Because we was made in his image, but we waiting on that resurrection. See, that's, like I say, that's the very last part of the creation. But keep going, though.
Thou made him to have dominion over the works of the hands. Thou hast put all things under his feet.
So everything that we read that was created, it is here to serve man. The birds, the sea creatures, the animals out here, everything was made for man. That's why it's no great mystery that a man can tame a lion. Yeah, a man can tame, because we have dominion over them. We just need the education to learn how to do that. And once you get that, you need education to learn how to do anything in this life. If somebody don't tell you, you wouldn't even know how to eat with a fork if somebody didn't educate you. You'd still be using your fingers. Matter of fact, I know people eat greens with their fingers. You see? And some people eat it with forks. Some people taught that way. Everything you do, you got to get an education on. Go ahead, keep reading.
All sheep and oxen, yea, all the beasts of the field,
That's right.
the fowl of the air, and the fish of the sea, and whatsoever passeth through the paths of the seas. O Lord, our Lord, how excellent is thy name in all the earth.
Let's go over to the book of Job. Go to the book of Job, and we're going to read this because we got time. We're going to read chapter 38. And like I said, had man decided to open up a Bible, then they wouldn't be wondering if the world was flat or round. Because he going to tell you that it was round. You know, the Lord say in the book of Psalms that he make the earth shake like a ball, something to that effect, you know. So, I mean, the answers was here, but man didn't have the good sense to read the book from the mysterious God, or like it said in the book of Acts, from the unknown God, who they were ignorantly worshiping. Job chapter 38, and let's start them at verse 4, bro. When you get there, go ahead.
Where was thou when I laid the foundation of the earth? Declare if thou hast understanding.
So he started talking to Job, and he started going off on Job. Because Job, you know, Job in the book, he had his friends, they was coming because the Lord was getting up on Job, beating him up a little bit. And his friends was like, you must have did something. And Job like, look here, man, I ain't did nothing. You know, I give to the poor. You know, I don't look at no women. I don't have no problems. I pray for my kids every day. You know, whatever you need, I'm good. I'm gonna take care of it for you. Well, you know, the Lord kind of came back at Job. You know, even though his friends was wrong, he was like, look here, man, you ain't perfect. Matter of fact, where was you when I did this? I'm God, you ain't. And that's where he coming up. He said, where was thou when I laid the foundations of the earth? Declare if you got some understanding. Go ahead.
Who has laid the measures thereof, if thou knowest it? Who has stretched the line upon it? Whereupon are the foundations thereof fastened?
Right, he's saying, where is the foundation of the earth fastened? Can you tell me this? Go ahead.
Or who laid the cornerstones thereof?
Yeah, anytime you build a house, you get a cornerstone. He's like, who laid the cornerstone for the earth? You know, I did this out of nothing. Go ahead.
When the morning stars sang together, and all the sons of God shouted for joy.
That's right, talking about the angels. Go ahead.
Or who shut up the sea with doors when it break forth, as if it had issued out of the womb?
Yeah, he trying to tell you something. I control the waters. I make the water stop right here. Who else can do that? As a matter of fact, when the water do come up on the earth, that's me too. Keep reading.
When I made the cloud the garment thereof, and thick darkness a swaddling band for it, and break up for it my decreed place, and set bars and doors, and said, hitherto shalt thou come, but no farther, and here shall thy proud ways be stayed.
He talking to the water. He saying, like, don't come no further, water. Your proud ways that man can't stop. He like, look, you stop right here. I'm the stopper of the waves. This is what the Lord's saying. Keep going.
Has thou commanded the morning since the day?
You see what he's saying? He talking to Job. He said, have you commanded the morning since the first day? Have you commanded them? Go ahead, keep reading.
And caused the day spring to know his place, that it may take hold of the ends of the earth, that the wicked might be shaken out of it. It is turned as clay to the seal, and they stand as a garment.
Go ahead.
And from the wicked their light is withholden, and the high arm shall be broken. Has thou entered into the spring of the sea, or has thou walked in the search of the depth?
Go ahead.
Has the gates of death been opened unto thee?
This guy talking, he like, man, the gates of death open to me. Because he the one to take you out of here and can stop it, asks Hezekiah. Keep reading.
Or has thou seen the doors of the shadow of death?
No, we haven't. Go ahead.
Hast thou perceived the breath of the earth? Declare if thou know it all.
Go ahead.
Where is the way where light dwelleth?
Here he said, where the light start at? You know, in the Bible, say somebody born of the Spirit, he moved like the wind. Where the wind start, y'all? I asked my kids that the other day. I was trying to explain to them being born of the Spirit. It was windy out. I said, y'all know where the wind started? They didn't know. They was like the trees. I was like, nah, that ain't where it started. I was like, do you know where it's going? I was like, so is everybody born of the Spirit. You know, it was just a good time to teach them that lesson because it was windy. But the point is, when the Lord like, can you declare this stuff to me? Go ahead, keep reading.
And as for darkness, where is the place thereof? That thou shouldest take it to the bound thereof, and that thou shouldest know the path to the house thereof.
Right, that's what he's saying. Where is the starting point and the ending point of darkness and light? Where do they live? You don't know none of that. Is he talking to Job now? Go ahead, keep reading.
Knowest thou it because thou was then born, or because the number of thy days is great?
Right, he like, man, do you know any of this? Like, because you was born a man or because you old? Like, can you figure any of this stuff out? Keep reading.
Hast thou entered into the treasures of the snow, or hast thou seen the treasures of the hail, which I have reserved against the time of trouble, against the day of battle and war?
Yeah, he is so, like, putting Job in his place and just letting him know, dude, you are human. I am God. You know, you can get on this level, and maybe you can declare your works and say whether you righteous or not. But until you on this level, look here, you need to walk a very thin, fearful line to my doorway. You know, keep reading.
By what way is the light parted?
I know that's right. Keep
Which
going.
scattered the east wind upon the earth. Who has divided a water course for the overflowing of waters, or a way for lightning of thunder?
Right, like lightning and thunder scared the mess out of people. He like, who made the way for it? You know, who is the one that say the lightning come out the clouds? Keep reading.
Who had divided to cause it to rain on the earth, where no man is, on the wilderness, wherein there is no man.
Right, go ahead.
To satisfy the desolate and waste ground, to cause the bud of the tender herb to spring forth. Has the rain a father?
No, I don't.
Or who has begotten the drops of dew? Out of whose womb came the ice?
Right.
And the hoary frost of heaven, who has gendered it? The waters are hid as with a stone, and the face of the deep is frozen. Can thou bind the sweet influence of Pleiades, or loose the bands of Orion? Can thou bring forth Mazzaroth in his season? Or can thou guide Arcturus with his sun?
These some stars. Go ahead.
Know thou the orders of heaven? Can thou set the dominion thereof in the earth?
Keep going.
Can thou lift up thy voice to the clouds, that abundance of waters may cover thee? Can thou send lightning, that they may go and say unto thee, here we are,
Mm.
who has put wisdom in the inward part? Who has given understanding to the heart? Who can number the clouds in wisdom? Or who can stay the borders of heaven?
All right, that's good. Y'all have to read. You have to read some of that in chapter 39 on your own. But let's keep this moving. Let's go into Genesis chapter 1 now. We don't have many more. Genesis 1 and 27. So we got to look at this other part of the creation, which is the part that we look forward most to, with that rest. That's what we here for now. So we saw 6 days of creating, and we recognized and understood that those 6 days was literally a 6,000 year period for man. It wasn't 6 24-hour sets. It wasn't like that. You know, it was a 6,000 year period for man. And then we got this 7,000 year. But all that leads you to the Sabbath day. And that's what we getting at. What do we say? Genesis chapter 1, verse 27 through 31. When you get there, go ahead and read.
So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them.
All right, so when he made man, in that creation, he made woman as well. It wasn't like he was going to take woman out the dirt too. He made man from the dirt of the ground. And when he made man, woman was already ready to come up out of this. So, and I think we may not read it, but we may. I don't know. But what he did was he took the rib, he put man to sleep, took the rib out, and bam, made this woman from her. You know what I'm saying? And said, made this woman from her and said, this is bone of your bone and flesh of your flesh now. Like she come from you. Because he said it wasn't good for man to be alone. So he made him a help me. So at any rate, keep going though.
And God blessed them. And God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply.
So when you dealing with man, and you got man and woman here, he say, I need y'all to be fruitful and multiply. He had already told the animals this, you know, but I need y'all to do this. Because if y'all don't do this don't work. Keep reading.
Be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it.
And take care of this place. Have dominion over it, but look, take care of this place. Make sure that this moves properly. Go ahead.
And had dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air.
That's right.
And over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. And God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed, to you it shall be for me.
So at this particular time, he gave us vegetation, and he like, this is what you use to eat. You know, he wasn't eating deer meat and lamb and chickens and stuff like that when he created them. Like that's what we weren't doing that. We had all the herbs of the field, and that's what was provided. Only till after the flood did God put those meat and give us the liberty to eat them. But at the same time, he still had made a distinction in the clean and unclean animals. Don't ask me why, but he had a distinction from day one. Keep going though.
And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat. And it was so. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day.
All right, now only in your notes put the rest of Psalms 104, because you need to read all that. We jumped the gun, and we read a part of it, but we don't have to read all of it now. But I have verse 1 through 23. So in your notes, Psalms 104, verse 1 through 23. You know, you need to be doing some reading on your own. So I hope this ain't the only time you read. Because if it is, you ain't getting yourself clean. It's like taking a bath on Friday only. I don't think we function like that. I don't smell y'all, so I don't think we function like that. So I don't need to smell your brain. So therefore, I clean it up with that word of God, just like you clean your body. Genesis chapter 2, we're going to read verse 1 through 3.
Thus the heaven and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them. And on the seventh day, God ended his work which he had made, and rested on the seventh day from all his work
So
which he had
God
made.
rested and ended his work. Man ain't got nothing to do with this. So it's still, this is God giving you his story on his creation of man. So we still don't got 24 hours nowhere. Yeah, you might say, well, on the fourth day he made the sun and the moon. Right, man wasn't even here. So the sun and the moon was doing their thing while God was still doing his. That had nothing, that's too small for God. That has nothing to do with God. God was still in his heavens. Okay, he still dwells in eternity. He still dwells in a place where he don't die. So therefore, time don't even exist like that to him. Go ahead, keep reading.
And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made.
All right, let's go to Exodus chapter 20 real quick. I'm going to read a couple of verses here. We're just going to kind of piggyback off of last week, so we're not going to get into too much depth on this Sabbath day. You know, because we do have classes on that, but we got to touch it because he said that he rested on this day and he blessed this particular day. Exodus chapter 20, verse 8 through 11.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shall thou labor and do all their work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord their God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it.
Okay, let's go to Psalms chapter 95. So we see that the Lord blessed a particular day and he hallowed this one set day. Everybody want to say, well, you know, you should worship God every day. Okay, I agree with you. As a matter of fact, if you don't, you probably won't get into the kingdom. But with that being said, there is one day that we take aside to keep holy, have a holy convocation, and we leave the realms of the world. You know, we're not all dealing with the worldly stuff. We dealing with the book. And the most, you know, we read in the Bible, say, you know, some of them people's out there reading, they was in the book. One time it's a story in Acts. So my man was in the book so long, he fell asleep in the window and fell. I think he died. I don't know if they brought him back to life, but I think he died. He fell out the window, though. But you can read it. Go read the book of Acts. You know, you can read about all the things that the apostles did. But the point is, the 7th day, you have to take a particular day aside. Just like God took a day and rested from his work, you supposed to do the same. You're not greater than your master. If this is what he did, this is what you do. The 7th day, not a day that you choose, but it's the day that he chose because he blessed that particular day and hallowed that particular day. And then furthermore,